You might recognize today's guest as the villain fans love to hate from Days of Our Lives. But this Emmy-nominated actor is so much more. Please help me welcome Thaao Penghlis.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sit right here in this chair. So I
know, excuse me, people call me a villain. I never see it that way.
Oh no, villains never see themselves as villains.
No, I always think, how do I upset these people? That's what I like to
Agitate
do.
them. You know, the rule of thumb is that a villain should never see themselves as a villain, because a villain has to believe that what they're doing actually makes the world a better place.
Yeah, look at our politicians.
Yeah, we're going to go there.
Oh, yeah?
No. You know, your career has been amazing, but even before your career, I mean, how does a Greek boy born in Australia join the Ballet Folklorico in Mexico and then enter into the fashion and arts world of New York City? That just is all over the place.
Slowly.
Yeah, hopefully.
It was a long haul to get there, because part of where you struggle in your youth is, you know, having some kind of confidence, finding some mentor who will show you in some direction. And my father was so busy having to find his own, because they were immigrants and we weren't particularly welcomed at that time in Australia. So I grew up very poor. And I did a book signing last night, and one of the stories that popped up was I wanted to help my mum because she didn't have very much money, and so I would go down to the alleys and find beer bottles from the drunks and wine bottles from the night before, and I would take them to the bottle yard and get pennies for them, and then come back to my mom and say, "Here you are, Mum, I'm just adding to your expenses, you know, and helping you out." And so in a way, it was taking charge of my own life. I didn't realize it then.
Yeah.
And slowly, I started to fall in love with America, because the television, the films we saw were places that you dreamed. You know, America had wholesomeness, it had that innocence, it had great love stories, it had great warriors, all those things that I didn't see while I was growing up in Australia. And so I made it my desire that one day I would find my way to America. And I was at a party, and Mariana Hernandez, who was the head of Ballet Folklorico, she thought I looked like her son, who she missed dearly because they were on the road. And so she said, "Why don't you come with us to America?" And to Mexico first. And so I did. And I was with them for about 3 months. And then I said, "You know what? Something's calling me to go to America." That's why I came. And that's how it all started, with $180 in my pocket. And telling my mum I would be back in 3 weeks. And I stayed. It was 6 years. I didn't want to go back until something, because I didn't want anybody pointing at me saying, "We told you." So I think, you know, you have to have the confidence. I think, you know, when you do it yourself, there's something about that struggle that is part of the beauty of your success.
Yes.
And so when I look back, and I'm old enough now to become a mentor for somebody else, which I have, it's a winning story. It's not, you don't succeed by becoming a victim.
You have to see yourself as a victor, never as a victim.
Right. You must be at cause and not at effect.
Yes.
And so I started from scratch.
Yes.
You know, it's like a recipe. You don't know what's in front of you. You just have to find a sense of trust.
You started from scratch, but you've done more than 1,500 episodes, 40 years.
You've actually watched?
You've got some raving fans here today.
They come from Canada.
From Seattle, Washington.
Yes.
People are here from all over the place to see you today, and they're probably wondering, what's your secret to longevity? 40 years, over 1,500 episodes. What has been your secret for that?
Out-creating your enemy. Because there's a lot of people who don't want you to succeed. But they're just your teachers. They're there as obstacles for you to overcome. I mean, I see it. If you're intuitive enough, and that's what you do as you get older, you sharpen your tools. So when you observe people and you see what they're really, it's like the applause, you know, it's either small or it's in fact, you know. But no, I just would always think to myself, even though sometimes it was hard where it was brutal, but I got back up again. I always try to be ahead of the game. Like if I was given a script, I went beyond the words. I didn't just give the writers what they say in their dialogue. I would bring new examples. It could be in the fashion choices. It could be in the attitude. It could be in the way you love the language. It is the way, how do you find your charm? How do you become a diabolical character and that the audience loves to hate you?
Yes.
That's all part of the recipe that makes you as an individual interesting. And when you're in the serial, how do you hang on? How does the audience keep interested? Well, firstly, you got to look good, I think. I always try to do my best, and nutrition was very important. But for me, it was buying my own clothes overseas. I studied fashion in my youth. So I would go, in my contract, I would get $25,000 in my contract, and I'd fly to Rome. And I'd go to Via Condotti by the Spanish Steps and buy my own clothes. And so when I'd come back, and the other actors who didn't know would say, how come he gets all the best clothes? And someone would say to me, oh, I loved your entrance today. How do you make an entrance?
Yes.
Well, I had a director one time, and we were doing a play in New York called Jockeys, and he said to me, I don't believe you. When I came out on stage, I was playing Balanchine, who was the head of the Joffrey. And so I came back on stage, and he says, I still don't believe you. I had to do it 40 times. So I learned how to lead when you come on the stage, so the audience will take you in and stay with you by the way your persona. And
Yes.
I always carried a sense of mystery. You don't tell everything. You must keep a secret, and that's what I do when I'm doing an entrance.
Yes.
I've always got a secret.
Yes.
It could be the laundry that I'm going to be doing when I go home, but it's a secret.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's always being ahead of the game.
Yes.
Never, when people catch up to you, they get bored.
Yes.
And if they do, you have to let them know how to treat you.
Yeah.
Because people take you for granted. And when they do that, they're not experiencing you. They're looking at you in a very ordinary way. And, life gives us opportunities to be extraordinary. And there's just too many wonderful artists who've been around and gone who did things well.
Incredible advice. And I'm going to take it right now because you have an incredible secret about your health scare, but we're not going to tell people right now.
Okay.
We're going to take a break. And when we come back, joining us will be our medical expert, Dr. Sharmini Long, as we learn more about Thao's traumatic diagnosis. We're back with Thaao Penghlis, and thank you, Dr. Sharmini Long, for joining us here on this segment, because we're going to talk about a medical scare that you had. Talk to us about the diagnosis back in 2020 that you received.
Yes, I'd come back from Australia. I knew there was something off. I didn't know what it was, but I went and had myself checked and found out that I had into second stage colorectal cancer.
Oh my.
And it's very important that you don't see it as a death sentence, because cancer is exposed in this world because of the way the air, the food, the water, all the things around us. And so you have to be really in charge of your lifestyle. And when that came, I didn't once think of myself as a victim. I thought to myself, this is interesting. Why did it come to me? And what did I do at first? I thought, I questioned it, because I know cancer is like the anger disease. And I thought to myself, do I have those issues still in my life, But the most important thing was that I had a great support system.
I love what you were saying about the attitude, because when we have a very negative attitude and hang on to that, it does manifest in different ways in our body and can increase our chances of different kinds of diseases. But then when we're faced with something like cancer and we have a positive and a hopeful and a victorious attitude, it actually can make a difference in the outcomes.
Yes, it's in the way we think,
The mind's a powerful thing.
Mind's a powerful thing. Yeah. And, how do you change an idea? Well, you find another idea. And, but that support system, I have a friend in the audience, Ray Linghini, who, he and another friend were there every day for 3 months.
Isn't that wonderful?
Having them come every day was really an extraordinary experience that, you know, how many times do people want to hide from those things?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want anybody to see them. And when you're going through 6 weeks of irradiation and 2 weeks where you've got chemo hanging out of your arm, and it's feeding you 24 hours a day, and you don't realize the poison that's going through your system. And how do you counteract that, you know? And it's through nutrition.
Yes,
and also
absolutely.
it's attitude. I mean, when Ray would pick me up in the morning, I would come, there were days where I couldn't walk anymore. So I would go down on my backside down the stairs of my house, and they would pick me up, and I would crack a joke, and then I'm thinking, I wonder what I'm going to cook tonight. You know, it was never fatal.
Yeah.
And then the doctor would say to me, "Hello, son." I said, "I'm older than you." He said, "Doesn't matter." He said, "Hello, son. You're looking well today. Results are looking fine." Well, you know, it took its time. What I didn't do was I didn't look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell you, if you've ever seen anything drop, I was in pretty good shape. And then I saw myself one day and I went, "Oh my God, who's that?" It's like, I said, "We got to get this back. We got to get it back."
Yeah.
So out of that, you know, I hit rock bottom, and the only place to go was up. And so life is about the
overcoming
choices.
challenges.
Yes, and the choices you make from those challenges. And listen, there's too many things to do.
Yes.
I'm not interested in the shortcomings of life. I'm not. I learned a long time ago that when I came to America with that kind of money in my pocket, I had to survive. I had families in Australia who were saying, "We're waiting for you to fail. Just watch it. We will write about you." And so, but I'd go home, and I went home winning. And that's my choice.
Yeah.
So I realized through all those times that when the cancer came, I would look at this as another obstacle to overcome. And so
It's the perseverance that gets you through.
yeah,
Persisting no matter what the obstacle
yeah,
is.
you know, the old cliche about loving yourself. You've got to have some kind of affection for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. A lot of people don't. You know, there's so many people criticizing you and looking to put you down that you know. So my advice to people is always don't be around the losers.
Yes. Well, absolutely. The obstacles aren't there to stop you. The obstacles there are to challenge you so you can succeed and to win. And I love that. You've written a cookbook.
Oh, yes.
I want you to tell us, we got like 1 minute to
It's
talk
called
about.
Seducing Celebrities, One Meal at a Time.
Yes.
And how did I find the seed for that? Was in Havana, Cuba. I went to a restaurant called La Guarita.
Yeah.
And in that restaurant were all these photographs of famous celebrities, Beyonce, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I looked at what they chose for their dinner, and I thought, oh my God, look at this. They're being seduced by food. And that's how it came about. So when they asked me to do a book, and my publisher said, "Well, do these recipes work?" I said, "I have no idea. I suppose they do. They came out of my head." So I'm the kind of person who'll open a fridge and look what's in there, and I say, "Okay, what do we make?" So one of the things about eating was part of what came out of the cancer, was make sure that I was on top of what kind of nutrition my body.
Absolutely.
Because when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel well, you say, "Well, what did I do last night?" So for me, it's coming out of meditation, which is not allowing anything to stay with you from the other days. You might have had a bad night or something. You move forward, and then I go down and I'm excited about what am I going to have for breakfast, and I do that for dinner, and so that fills in with my friends when they come for dinner. I seduce them.
Well, I understand you've come prepared today to seduce us with some of your cooking. So we're going to take a break so you can get ready, but don't go anywhere. Thaao is going to show off his culinary skills and show us a healthy, delicious dish you can make at home. We're here with Thaao Penghlis, and what are you going to make for us today?
You know, I'm not used to having people in my kitchen.
Yes, we're kind of in your way, aren't we?
Amazing.
So I kind of, and then, you know, I've never cooked in front of a camera.
Yes.
It's like, the intimacy's gone. Do you know what I mean?
But the drama is off the charts.
Well, you know, there are the people who come and saying, oh, no, I can't eat that.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be a time where people were satisfied with what you presented at the table.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a menu.
Yes.
So you say to them, oh, you can't eat, no, I can't eat that. Oh, no, I don't eat meat. No, I don't eat that. And
I'm gluten intolerant.
So I came up with something, and that's why I want to present this, because it's for vegetarians.
Excellent.
Oh, it looks delicious.
And so I always think, let's start with walnut oil.
Walnut.
Because it goes, I think, it's over 500 degrees, and olive oil becomes a carcinogen, whereas walnut oil doesn't.
Oh, that's great to know.
So what I decided to do is, you know, shiitake mushrooms I love because they're very good for you. They're great for the immune system. Pine nuts I love because they're brain food.
I need a lot of pine nuts.
They're delicious.
And they're delicious, you know. So, and there's mint, and there's basil, and there's fresh peas. And I've got red pepper. Red pepper is very good because it helps put oxygen into the blood and helps the circulation.
Oh, nice.
I'm talking about this, and there's a doctor here.
It all sounds good.
And when you get that difficult person,
Yes.
that vegetarians are, but I'm just not.
Such as me.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
vegetarian.
we're both vegetarians, so we're extremely difficult.
You're
we're not
surrounded
only
by
in,
difficult people.
We're not only in your way, we're...
Well, okay, I hope this doesn't splash. So be
All right,
careful.
watch out,
I'm going
Charmy.
to put the shiitake mushrooms in. And I don't like to overcook them, but what I like about shiitake, it gives the texture like it's meat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Something
a lovely,
chewy.
Yeah, it's something chewy. So we can start by putting in the peas.
All right, got some peas in there.
So everything's, so I decided to do this recipe because it's easy. And I didn't want to make it complicated, and especially we're doing it in front of a camera.
Yes.
And it's not, there's that. And
Pine nuts.
pine nuts. And tomatoes, it adds color. And
Yeah.
that's also important when you're cooking, that the person that you're serving has to be seduced, as I say.
Yes.
And so color allows that.
Yeah.
So you color, you've got the pasta. So we add some pasta here.
Good old linguine here.
Good old linguine.
Yep.
And always when you're cooking pasta is to add some olive oil in the water so that the
That's why it's
pasta
not
doesn't
sticking.
stick.
Like if I were to make this, it would be all clumped together.
Well,
Just all put
what I
one
do,
ball picking it up.
what we did here was that we put it under hot water to get rid of the
all the starches.
starches. you know.
Yeah.
So
idea.
okay. So then I get some basil and I mix that there,
Nice.
and the same with the mint. So I'm going to put walnut oil instead of the olive oil.
Okay.
We're ready for
I
these.
think they're ready.
Wonderful.
Let's
Cool.
put
Just
those
put them on
there.
top?
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get our plates ready for you here.
Yes, and so
I'm
I'm
getting all
going to
fancy.
put some more Parmesan cheese. And then I get the red pepper flakes. Now, if you have a stomach that doesn't like spicy stuff, then I would say forget. But for me, it just gives
Add a little spice.
Yes.
it adds a little spice.
I love red pepper.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful that looks.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and then I start adding on top. It's like layers, you know?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be wearing this jacket while I was in my kitchen, but here we are. We're doing the best we can under the circumstances. And this is the truffle oil.
Ooh.
Truffle oil, which I love, but the only thing is don't put too much because it's really pungent at times. So I love the smell. Yeah, it's like the woods, you know?
Yeah.
So I will put that amount. So we need to toss it.
Yep, right there.
Here we go. Let's use that.
I toss it over.
That's beautiful.
You see what I mean? It's got wonderful colors. It's like Christmas,
Yes.
isn't it?
And it looks healthy. It
Yes.
looks like something that's going to help improve your body.
Right.
Wonderful.
And then a little bit of Parmesan again.
I like how you keep coming back for that Parmesan.
Oh, I love Parmesan. I mean, you know, let's face it. And then, you know, finish it off and then just put a basil and there you are. That's
Beautiful.
the salad. Let's have it. Oh my God, this was easier than I expected.
Now for the true test.
Oh no.
Here we go. That is really good.
It works.
Delicious.
Very much.
Trust me.
Yes. You have seduced us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. I have some words of encouragement to help you stay positive when life gets hard. So good.
This is really good.
Yeah, really. Did you know that having a positive attitude can make your cancer treatment more effective? A study published in Health Psychology found that cancer patients who engage in positive thinking and receive emotional support tend to have better survival rates and faster recovery times. Patients who manage to keep a positive outlook often experience fewer symptoms of depression and anxiety, which can otherwise slow down the healing process. Moreover, positivity can boost the immune system. It makes the body more resilient to illness and aids in faster recovery. But let's be real. Having a positive attitude doesn't mean you ignore the reality of cancer, but it's likely to at least make it easier to deal with. I'm Roy Ice, reminding you, your best life is possible, and your tomorrow can be even better than today. So let's keep growing. Don't forget that you can find exclusive content on all of our guests. Check us out on social media using the handle Lifestyle with Roy.